Campbell's Comments now, catching up with, I suppose, the brains behind Auctionsplus. I'm going to start with the beauty first. Grace Hoskins, welcome.
Thank you for having us. Very exciting to be here.
And Angus Street. Angus, welcome.
Thanks so much, Paul. It's an honour. I met you down in Melbourne months back, so nice and feel very honoured to be on one of Campbell's Corners.
Campbell's Comments, not Campbell's Corners, but that's okay. Don't let that worry you. It's all good. Auctionsplus are, I suppose, the driving force behind the Nutrien website and the online bidding platform and how it's going to work. Firstly, Angus, you must be excited about this being the official first, I suppose it's not really, but the official first online one for Auctionsplus with the harness racing. You did do the backside of the ready to run, but this one you're officially part of the team and the branding of the team. Yeah,
really exciting. And the standard bred category for us is an absolute focus very much now. And we're really appreciative of Nutrien bringing us in underneath their wing and giving us the opportunity to show value in the, I guess, in the sector. So no, it's a really big focus for us. We're really excited and feeling pretty privileged to be a part of it, to be honest with you.
Grace, Auctionsplus, we'll get to the harness part of it or the standard bred section of it in a sec, but it is a massive platform, isn't it? This is not your first rodeo, I suppose, into online auctions. You guys have been doing it for a long time.
Look, that's it. So we're basically just an online agricultural marketplace. So you can jump on, have a look at pretty much anything agricultural. The equine side of the platform, we're really trying to break into, and we've lately had quite a few equine sales online. This is the third standard bred sale for this year. We've put a lot of time and effort into trying to deliver a high grade product, specifically, like Angus said, designed for that standard bred catalogue. Yeah.
And Paul, just to extend on that, we're a 34-year-old business. We've been running online sales in the ag sector for 34 years. Our 34-year-old anniversary comes up the 1st of July. So whether it be selling, goats, horses, working dogs, grain, wine, milk powder, we have that experience selling anything agricultural. We do realise that there are nuances in the harness racing sector, and we're very much at the beginning of that journey, learning around the category's needs. So, we know that we're not getting it right, but I guess we believe that, let's start somewhere, let's receive the feedback, and let's make it better.
I'll go back to a couple of those things you just left me with there, but 34 years, I would imagine it's changed a lot. But just this last, with COVID lockdown, it must have just changed enormously for you guys. Put a lot of pressure, I suppose, but also rewarding pressure as well.
Yeah, it was huge. We've grown, over 100% growth year on year as a business. A lot of that isn't just in the livestock sector, which has been our traditional core market. A lot of it has been in these adjacent sectors that have realised that there is value in going online. You go online and you get a bigger audience. Bigger audience means more bidders, means more bids, and it just opens up the market. What it also does is it's used as a marketing tool outside of the emails and the social media and the physical brochures that are sent out. This is actually, a huge marketplace that people can market their animals. So, it took off during COVID, and we're forecasting that it's continued the growth. So, stressful. I know Grace did many long hours and works over the weekend and lost a bit of hair, and for a very young woman in agriculture, potentially got a few greys, but no, it's extremely rewarding, and we're feeling pretty fortunate to be in the position we are.
We're not all as fortunate as you, Angus, so there's no ball jokes on Campbell's Comments, okay?
Been in the industry too long, Paul.
he's got a full mop. I'm very jealous of what he's got. Grace, what Angus alluded to there, it's always evolving, always changing, and sometimes you'd be flat out. There'd be some sales that work seamlessly, but having a little bit of horse background definitely would help when you're going into this sort of new field, I would imagine.
Oh, definitely. But saying that, there was a lot to learn, especially, you know, I didn't come from a standard bred background, so a lot of it was new, but just so exciting, and learning alongside the Nutrien team, who have been so helpful, and getting the catalogue all up and looking perfect, and so it's been really good.
I'm going to keep this one with you because it's a marketing thing. I believe that from a harness racing person entrenched in the industry as I am, I think it's awesome that you're also putting your money where your mouth is, and you're actually getting behind and sponsoring couple of the 2-year-old races next year, and that's a continued sponsorship for 3 years. So you're not just going to come Johnny on the spot and then walk away, and that's huge, isn't it, for you, Grace? I mean, Angus has got a few questions. I've got quite a few for him in a sec, so don't worry, we'll fire them back at him. But it's huge commitment from Auctionsplus, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. And I mean, yeah, Angus knows a lot more about this specific sponsorship than myself, but it's you know, we're committed to staying in this for the long run, and we're really committed and excited to build up and learn as we build. You know, we're still quite new to this side of things, so there's always going to be learning as we go, but yeah, we're really in it to hopefully stay and you know, provide a good platform and a good experience for sellers as well as buyers.
And the one thing, Angus, you said there before, that you listen to the people and you evolve. We did the Ready to Run sale early on in the year. We didn't have photos up. We weren't sure how it was going to work, and you copped a bit of criticism. It's grown from that. It's now gone from the Nutrien site actually across to the Auctionsplus site. So you guys are going to have a lot more control, and I'll be able to say would control a lot more of the in and outs of what's going on, which would be a lot easier for you. But it still hasn't been foolproof, this one, but you keep learning and keep evolving.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I think it's just those little 1%ers from a customer experience point of view that you don't know going into a new sector. You know, we're a digital business that sells products, right? And we know how to run an auction system. We know how to build a catalogue, but there are nuances most definitely in new segments. And I think it's those little 1%ers that we're learning and that we aim to, you know, to make changes for. And I think, you know, Paul, you know those 1%ers because you're entrenched in it, right? It's, you live and breathe it. And for us, it's okay, well, you know, we would much rather people come and say, you know, can you add this drop down to the filters? Can we search by this? Can we make sure that links are shown this way? Can we have pedigree shown this way? And I think it's that feedback. We actually see it as really positive because it's like, oh, well, for alpacas or for the performance horse, it's that 1% is a little bit different. So yes, we've got to get the nuances right, but we're 100% committed to it.
And Grace, you've got a horse background and you know horses, but with harness racing, as compared to the gallops, a horse is a galloper or a cutting horse or anything along those lines, the gait isn't necessarily that important. Yet in harness racing, pacing or trotting is nearly your first particle that makes it that little bit tricky. You've got a horse background, but I would imagine even that threw a curveball up for you when you're first starting to catalogue everything.
Oh, definitely. And even the lingo of all the specific words, I had to do quite a bit of Googling, quite a few phone calls to Darby at Nutrien. What does this mean? But no, and that's learning a lot. And I really genuinely just enjoy the industry. Everyone that I've talked to has just been so enthusiastic. A lot of genuine care about the animals and, you know, just wanting the best on both the buyers and the seller's side. And, you know, it's really good. I haven't had much, like I was just telling you earlier, Paul, rode horses all growing up, and since leaving school, I haven't really, you know, moved out of home and haven't really been able to connect back with it until, you know, this last year at Auctionsplus, taking the equine side, and it's been really exciting and quite rewarding.
I love them, and I want more people to stay in them. I think, before I go off that, I think a lot of harness people need to be aware that they get frustrated, but a lot of us take for granted what we have embedded in our psyche. I've got a 14-year-old daughter that can talk harness to me very, very easy, but we take it for granted. It's probably the same, no different to you guys when you're talking tech. Comes back to a trotting person, they're going to go, what? They've got no idea, so that's key. Rightio, Angus, we are live. The auction is live. We're recording this part, but don't worry, but the auction is actually live now. Firstly, we've got a change of times. It's going to finish approximately 6 o'clock. I say approximately, it won't be any earlier than 6 p.m. Please don't go 6 a.m. How is the end of it going to work? I suppose we can start at the finish, and then we can cover off on the pieces in the middle.
Yeah, no, and this is really important, and this is, again, one of the nuances with our auction software. And the reason that we do it this way is because we know that it offers maximum value, and there's no value left on the table for the sellers. And we also mean that it gives the buyers the greatest opportunity to at least get something once they're in and bidding. So essentially, the timer goes on at 6 o'clock. That's right, Grace? Yep.
Yeah, it's been updated as well. So that's only of today. That's just the new finishing time. So it was 3, now it's 6.
So the auction timer goes on at 6. And what that means is that the sale might actually go for another 20 minutes or another hour, because every time there is a bid placed, Paul, the timer resets to 20 seconds. So the timer will count down 20 seconds, 19, all the way down. And if a bid is placed in that 20 seconds on any lot,
yep,
the timer resets, and it'll go again. If another bid is placed on a different lot, the timer resets. So the real activity kicks off from 6 o'clock, but we do encourage people to jump in and put their best price forward prior to 6 o'clock. But most definitely, come 6 o'clock is when the timer's on and everybody's playing for keeps.
I think that part you said there about any horse. So you could have a horse and you might be the only person that's bid on it for the last 3 hours. 6 o'clock might come and go. Keep your eye on it, because at 6:30, some person might throw one bid on that horse because it's worried that it might go, and then you might miss out.
100%, and I think that's where a lot of people get quite frustrated. Is it's like, well, I was holding the horse for, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and then I went out to dinner, and the sale was supposed to finish at 6. But in actual fact, what could have occurred is that bidding. The timer went on from 6 to 6:20, and someone was on lot 22, and it got too expensive for them, so they shifted onto your lot, and they've suddenly outbid you, and you're not aware of it. So if you're serious about bidding and you're in to win, make sure you are logged into the auction at 6 o'clock and keeping an eye on the lots.
How does it work? If you are holding the winning bid, do you get an alert that someone's outbidded you? Is that how it'll happen, through your emails?
No, we don't have a notifications process at the moment, because of the connectivity issue in rural and regional Australia. And so what you can do is, if you are going to be away from the computer from that 6 o'clock period onwards, is to actually put in a limit bid. And so put in your maximum bid price, and then you can walk away, and the computer will bid up to that max bid. But I think this is a pretty active sale. There's a fair bit of interest. So I would be recommending that, if you're interested in purchasing, make sure you're in there at 6 o'clock.
So just to clarify what you were just saying then, you put your maximum bid in for a horse as $10,000. When you walk away from your computer, it's at 6. If Grace comes along and bids on that horse and she pulls out at $8,000, what will your next bid be? How would that work? Like, it obviously won't be 10, but it would be 8,000 and...
It depends on the bid increment. So if your max bid is 10 and you walk away and you're holding it at 6, and Grace comes in at 7, then the limit bid will fire off at 8, and then you hold the bid at 8.
Yep.
Essentially. And so it will run up to the limit bid, And then if someone comes in at 11, then obviously the horse isn't yours.
Yep. So can Grace come in at 500? Like, is there a max and limit, minimum limit you can come in on?
On this sale, there's kind of a few different bid increments that we're working with. So the higher reserved horses have bid increments of 1,000, and then it goes from it differs per lot. So there will be a minimum amount that you can place. So say that minimum amount is 500. It will also give you the option to bid 1,000 and 1,500 as well if you would like to go higher. But the bidding increment that will be on the bid button is just the minimum amount that you can pop on for that bid.
And I think that's key, because you don't want to be outdone by $1.
No. Definitely can't do that.
Yeah, and that's what I was try to I suppose ascertain.
Yeah, you're locked into those bid increments. So it's, everybody's locked into $500 bid increments at a minimum, and that's what they have to bid at if that's the bid increments that the vendor has chosen.
Yeah, which is key. I'm going to go live at about 6 o'clock now in the evening, and just prior to, and I'll try and get a couple of people on. We'll monitor it and see how it goes, and hopefully it's a bit of excitement. I hope people are kind to me, and at 10 o'clock at night we're not still going live, because people will be very sick of me by then listening to me in a way. But I like it, and I think it's something that is different. To register and add your limits, you've got to go through the same process that has been done through Nutrien. So am I right in saying that if you're a Nutrien client, your client is still you still got your client ID, but you need to still register the bid and your limits, because your credit limit that you're after?
Correct. So with so the different side of things, so you've got your Nutrien account and everything, that's just separate. So in order to get set up and bid on the sale, it's a two-step process. The first step, you need to go to Auctionplus, sign up. When you sign up, it will prompt you to register as a bidder. Just remember to tick the box that says no pick, because otherwise it will make you do livestock the buyer training. The second step, after you've registered with an account on Auctionplus, you will go to the Winter Woolies catalogue, which you can either search in the bar up the top there, or it's going to be on the homepage, I think one of the top few that are there. Then you will need to fill in the mandatory registration form. So that's on the catalogue header. And once you've done those two steps, then you will shortly after that get an email, and that will have a link to the catalogue and say that you've all been set up and ready to go.
And it'll have a lot of the questions that most people would have answered on that email, I would imagine.
Yes, and look, if anyone does have additional questions, all the names and numbers are in the catalogue header. We've got our office number as well as my mobile. So if anyone does get stuck, don't hesitate to give us a call.
No, thank you very much, Grace. That's terrific. I hope we've covered everything, Angus. I think it's going to be, as I say, like, trotting people are very set in their ways. A lot of them don't like change, but I'm excited. I'm excited what both Nutrien and you guys brought to the table with the Melbourne sale just recently. The fact that you guys are getting behind it and sponsoring some of the race series as well is key. And even with that Melbourne sale, there was a little bit of a glitch on the Saturday night, which was rectified on the Sunday. So you guys take on board what's going on and listen, and you're able to change it up.
Yeah, most definitely. Look, we're committed. Like, it's, and I've said it before, but it's, this is a really exciting sector for us. It's new. We're not expecting to be world-class sprinters, in the first couple of cracks, but we are committed, and we're going to hang around and make sure we get it right. We're also agile enough to kind of get the feedback and quickly go, well, yeah, we can make that fix. Let's make it a better experience from the seller and the buyer perspective. I think that, the sponsorship in the race series, for us, it's new. It's we want to build trust with the users of the trotting sector and the harness racing sector. They need to know who we are and put faces to names, and not just faces to a piece of technology. I really urge you to call the office or call Grace over the weekend if you've got any concerns. One of the things that we do pride ourselves on is that customer service, and if there's any concerns, do get in touch, and we'll make sure that we get them fixed.
I think the technology part too is something that people need to be aware of, because it's not smooth sailing. Quite often I have to restart computers because they will not record, they will not do anything. Things don't turn on, things don't always work, and that's one of the things dealing with technology. It is not foolproof either, so people must be aware of that component of it as well. But I think it's exciting. I think it's exciting, this platform, and going forward. The Kiwis have had it in place for a while. I think it opens up a lot of avenues for harness racing in Australia, this way of doing it. So I really appreciate it. And the fact you guys are putting your money where your mouth is, I really look forward to that. Grace, thank you very much for joining me. Good luck on the weekend. Hopefully you don't get too many curly questions, but good luck with that.
No, thank you, and thanks for having us. It was great having a chat.
No, very good. And Angus, thank you very much as well, mate. I appreciate it. I know you're in a meeting. You probably should get back to that meeting, but it's okay. You can tell the boys I said hello.
Definitely. Thanks so much, Paul.
Thank you very much.